Good afternoon, and welcome to Brunch and Budget on Bonfire Radio with your host, Pamela Capellan, a certified financial planner here to help take the bite out of your budget, brunchandbudget.com. I'm your sound provider, Dialect, and here's your host, Pamela Capellan.
Thank you, Dialect, and thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. We are going to be talking about a phrase that I feel like gets thrown around a lot. It gets thrown around in sales pitches, it gets thrown around in sales pages, whatever you want to call it. But it is a phrase that is investing in yourself. So what does it really mean to invest in yourself? What does it mean when someone says it to you? What should it mean to you? Does it mean anything, really?
It's like when you give yourself a loan expecting money
Back
from yourself later.
It's, oh, okay, so you pay yourself.
Because, you always pay yourself first. So you not only pay yourself first, but you also pay yourself last.
You give yourself a little interest, too. You pay yourself first and last.
Oh, yeah, with interest. If
with
not,
interest.
then you'll break your legs.
Well, then it's not an investment if you don't get interest, right?
Right? Well, is that... Is it just an unsuccessful investment if you only end up breaking even, getting your money back?
Or losing your money?
Or end up losing money? Well, I'm saying, like, if you break even, does it not count?
Well, you basically didn't make any money off your investment.
But it's still an investment. It was just a non-good one.
Right, exactly. Well, that's the thing is let's do our investment appetizer right now. Investment appetizing.
Right. Let's just jump. Oh, that's a quick investment appetizer. Right. So this week's investment appetizer is brought to you by Dialect.
Yes, Dialect. What is your investment appetizer?
So, when it comes to investing in yourself, because investing in yourself is a phrase I've heard a lot. As someone who works in the arts and someone who's been around New York for a while, I get to hear it all over the place for lots of reasons. And invest in yourself only counts as investing in yourself if you see a clear benefit on the other end.
Right. Just like any investment.
Now, I'm not saying it doesn't have to be a transaction.
Yeah.
If you do something, if you're going to do some work for free or at less than your rate for someone, it doesn't have to be a contract that said, if once you do this gig for me, I am then going to give you another gig at triple your rate.
Right. You invested the time, and essentially you took a risk.
What I'm saying is there's risk involved.
Yeah.
And, it could be when you invest in yourself, you could end up breaking even or losing on it. But there needs to be something. We talk a lot about the lottery here at Brunch and Budget, Bonfire Radio, and how we're not playing the lottery if we're investing ourselves.
Right.
If we're investing in general.
Yeah, and you shouldn't think of it as the lottery. You shouldn't think of it as, a gamble necessarily. So you are taking a risk, and I think that's...
And we've talked ad nauseum about the difference between a risk and a gamble.
Yes, and I think that's one of the key words in that phrase, invest in yourself, is invest. And to think of it still as an investment. So you're saying invest in yourself means there needs to be a clear benefit. The benefit doesn't necessarily have to pan out, right? Because you could have invested wrong. Some timing couldn't have worked out. Whatever happens, you take a class, you take this job, and you take this risk, and you're like, I'm doing this as an investment for myself. There is this expectation of what the outcome is, and there is a positive expectation of what the outcome is, but it's clear what you expect. Whether or not it happens is the risk. I was going to say gamble, but it's not a gamble when you know what you're getting into.
To give you the contrast, the way you know it's a scam is if your risk gets multiplied. What I mean by this is there's always going to be a risk with your investment.
Mm-hmm.
But if you say that you will do something for somebody at a lower rate or for free or for something else, and they say, well, if you do that for me, I'm going to introduce you to the CEO of so-and-so and set up a meeting. You've got a meeting.
Right.
What comes out of that meeting, hey, that has nothing to do with you.
Well, that has to do with you and not the person who set it up.
But if you were working for the same person, same scenario, and they said, well, this is going to put you in a room with a lot of really important people, including the CEO.
Right. And maybe they'll notice you.
Yeah, and maybe they'll notice you. That's an entirely different thing, and that is not an investment in yourself. That's the lottery.
Right. Well, and that's...
Because you could have just gone there anyhow and bumped into the CEO.
Right, and figured out how to meet with him. And I think the equivalent... Or her, it's true.
Or whatever your
Although
preferred
chances are it's a
pronoun is.
him, let's be real.
Right.
Statistically, chances are it's a him. That's a whole other show.
We do a show on how to talk to CEOs that aren't just he, him pronouns.
Oh, maybe we can put it on the list.
That's my hope.
No, I know, right? But it works very similarly to a regular investment where, you know, I like how you say your risk doesn't multiply. That's a good way to think of it. It's like if you invest in this one thing, then it shouldn't get you just to another point of putting you in more risk to continue to invest in this thing.
Well, because just like, once you multiply risk enough times, it becomes not a risk. It's just a certainty
it's just
that
a
it's
bad
not going to
idea.
happen. It's not a thing.
Yeah, it's just there's no reward. The reward continues to diminish to the point where you're just taking all the risk and getting no potential reward from it. And I think that's the relationship, the risk-reward relationship that you really do need to think about when you are presented with a situation where you're trying to decide if you should invest in yourself or not. So that's really, we wanted to do this show because we hear this phrase way too often. We hear it one as a way for people to try and sell you on the thing that they're trying to sell you on without any real outcome. We hear it as a way for people to say, to justify why they should buy a thing that, you know, may or may not actually be an investment.
Ooh, I think that's the most commonest of it all.
That's the trickiest
we didn't
one.
talk enough about it before we started today. Man, it's because it's the lie you tell yourself. I'm investing in me.
I'm investing in me by getting this massage.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love that it's all about these rules, though, because, you know, your rules about investments in general, they still apply.
Mm-hmm.
Because really, if it's not making money for you, then it's not an investment. It might be a nice thing for you.
Right. Well, and I feel like that people confuse and conflate the phrase invest in yourself with taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the same thing. Even though a lot of people use that phrase in the same way, investing in yourself is completely different from self-care, personal care, taking care of yourself, eating healthy, keeping your health up. I feel like that there's
a reason you use the word invest rather
Right.
than take care of.
Right. And I think that there needs to be a distinction there because if there isn't and if that line is blurry, then people can take advantage of that
That's
when
my
they
big
speak
thing.
to you.
Yeah, because it's so easy to get played when you already think of investing in yourself as taking care of yourself, not something you get a monetary benefit from. So somebody's going to come to you and be like, yo, you know that thing that you love to do? I want you to do it, but for me and for free in a way that benefits me monetarily and you in some intangible way that's going to make you feel good.
Yeah, and maybe it'll pan out one day monetarily for you too. Who knows? But really, this is an investment in yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that's the trickiest thing. So we want to talk about both sides. So one is, you know, what is it? How do you figure out the difference between investing in yourself and taking care of yourself, and also thinking about what investing in yourself means for you, because it means different things to different people. And I feel like when you understand your definition of it, then it's also easier to spot when someone's trying to take advantage of you. I think when people tend to get caught off guard when people try and present them with like an investment in themselves is because they don't know what that means for them.
Yep.
I think that's the biggest thing, and a lot of this is exploratory and figuring out your own definition for it. And it's important to do that because you do need to invest in yourself. You do need to think of yourself as an asset in a lot of ways.
Well, that's why this is such a tricky, and this is I have such trouble with people when they use it, because you do specifically need to invest in yourself. Especially in worlds where you're an entrepreneur, especially in creative fields where there aren't just systems to bring you up into the next level and show you what you need to do. You do need to invest literally in a thing
for yourself. Yeah.
In some places, in some ways, it can be easy. If you're a musician, you invest in the money to make and record a thing. You invest in your money to make the visual stuff, and there's things that you get out of that.
Right,
There's
it's a
risk
clear
because
line.
if you throw a party or make a record, no one could buy it, no one could come.
Right.
But the intention is clear.
I think, though, that is also the most difficult part about unpacking this phrase in the creative world is there's so many more possibilities, right? If you're climbing,
and that's why it's easy to play you.
Yeah, exactly. If you're climbing a certain career ladder, it's really clear what the next step is, and it's very easy for you to define, this is an investment in myself, this is not an investment in myself. But there's so many different ways that can go, and so many different meanings behind the phrase invest in yourself when it comes to starting your own business or choosing to do a creative endeavor. It's one of those things that
Especially if you're doing some new stuff that's needed out there. You don't really
exactly.
know.
That's a huge risk. It's not like it's not an investment in yourself, but the types of things that people end up promising you and telling you that it ends up being an investment is really where it's really where people are taking advantage of the gray area, I think.
Yep.
I think that's the biggest thing to
Well, that's the game,
overcome.
though, right?
Yeah.
Is taking advantage of the gray.
Yeah, if it's not black and white, then maybe I can sneak in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Oh man, it's too crazy. It's too crazy. So let's roll to a song and then we'll start really unpacking what investing in yourself means and also how you should feel and react when someone tells you that something is an investment in yourself and what that should mean for you.
Yeah, we're going to rap a little bit about that, and we're going to try to be real with you to open that door. We're going to start off with Nyron the Honest, another cat out of Maryland. And before we know how to invest ourselves, we have to know ourselves. So this is Nyron the Honest with Myself, and we'll check you in a minute. Brunch and Budget, Bonfire Radio.
I'ma always be myself. And I'ma always be myself. One more time, homie. I'ma always be myself. And I'ma always be myself. I like cartoons, I like sad tunes. I like chilling in my room, sitting with the moon. I reminisce on days when they had them Nike shoes, slashed up like flat tires, but it was cool. White tees and J's became the new trend back at high school with my green low like cut grass. Yeah, and we ain't had too many heroes. Niggas with the money got the girls and the egos. Maybe I can be the one, show you how to have some fun without talking blunts, bitches, bags, and other shit. Yeah. But who the fuck I'm kidding? Shit, that's the shit they want. But I'ma never change, cause I'ma always be myself. And I'ma always be myself. One more time, homie. I'ma always be myself. And I'ma always be myself. One more time, homie. I'ma always be myself. And I'ma always be myself. One more time, homie. I'ma always be myself. And I'ma always be myself. It wasn't too long ago when I seen a familiar face I hadn't seen in a while. Turns out he was in jail for a year. He told me the music I make was real and that he appreciated meeting me that day. And it's experiences like that that make me think people believe in my music more than I did, when it's kind of why I continue to make it. Yeah, since 95.
Welcome back. Brunch and Budget, Bonfire Radio. That was Nyron the Honest. I'ma be myself.
That was very honest.
Right?
I like his name. He sounds so earnest.
Although the poor guy, I swear, when you put a superlative on your name, there's a lot of weight. Like,
True.
so now he
There's a lot
can't.
of pressure.
Right now he can't make a song where he lies a lot.
Right, it's
That's
true.
what
Or
his
you
name
have to
is.
change his name.
Nyron the occasionally honest.
Mostly honest.
Although, Nyron, feel free to let us know if all of your rhymes have been lies in this whole thing.
It's all game.
It's all meta.
So ironic. I love it. So today we're talking about investing in yourself. And what does that mean? What should that mean to you? What does that mean when other people say it to you? And I want to start with that. I want to start with breaking down the psychology behind the phrase investing in yourself and why salespeople really like using it, why motivational speakers who are trying to get you to buy something really like using it. And
Well, isn't it first just because the whole thing about the type of person you are?
what do you mean?
Well, one thing I've been told in sales and advertising is, and this is a psychological thing that people use in education as well, is when you are trying to get somebody to do a thing that you want, the way that you phrase it isn't, hey, would you do this thing that I like, that I think is a good thing for you to do? What you would say is, are you the type of person who would do this thing?
Right. So it does start with you helping somebody define, like, oh, you're the type of person. Well, and that's just to build on top of that. The word investment sounds like a positive thing. We associate the word investment with making more money, getting something out of something, making more than what you have now.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were just talking about how investing in yourself, there has to be something that happens afterwards.
Right.
It
So
can't just be,
are you the
just-
type of
I did it.
person? Yeah. Are you the type of person who would invest in yourself?
Right. Are you the
Yes.
type of person who wants to get things out of the things you put out?
Right. Well, and also, are you someone who values yourself enough
Mm-hmm.
to put money towards you and your growth?
Invest in yourself sounds so beautiful.
It does. It sounds beautiful, and it also sounds.
It's like a warm hug from the money
It does.
fairy.
It sounds nice. It also sounds kind of easy, right? You're like, oh,
Well-
I know myself and I understand myself, and I think I would like this thing, so.
Well, I guess it sounds easy in the way that investment in general sounds easy. Like you put stuff in and stuff comes out.
Well, I feel like then when a lot of people hear the word investment, they immediately think, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to invest in the stock market. I don't understand it. I'm never going to try it. I don't really know where I'm supposed to start. But when you start with investing in yourself, I think that changes the dialogue a little bit, right?
Well, it lowers the barrier to entry.
It does. It does. I think that's the thing is, instead of investing in an unknown thing, you're investing in something that you obviously value. You care about yourself.
Well, the reason why I played the song about myself first is the invest in yourself. One of the immediate ways that the scam gets to be a scam is, what does yourself mean?
Right. That is so vague.
It's really interesting with creative types because ourselves usually mean our business.
Right. You are your business in a lot of ways. You are your art.
Right. So when someone says invest in yourself,
That really resonates. You're
Heavily.
like, oh, I already do that. I've been doing that.
and the youngest of us, the thirsty of us, those who are seeking the approval of the gatekeepers, those are the ones most likely to spend money
Right.
on quote unquote investing in yourself.
Well, when someone puts this thing in front of you and says and tells you all these things that sound like promises or imply a lot of things that could potentially happen, and you have no idea, again, there are no steps. You have no idea what direction you should go in. This is so appealing.
And this,
It
these
gives
are
you
the
a formula.
right. Well, because exactly that. Because these are the pitfalls that are created by not having a job.
Mm-hmm.
Because the job is really easy. They tell you, oh, you need to work on this thing, and that's going to pay off for you down the line.
Right.
And you're not investing in yourself. You're investing in your position in the company, which is kind of investing in yourself, but it's easier to put off to the side because it's not your thing.
Well, and it's clearly defined that this is going to lead to this, which is going to lead to this.
Right.
You're doing a thing to help someone else be able to do a thing.
And to be real, to all my people who want to be entrepreneurs and freelancers and who are currently doing the job thing, all of us, even those of us who have been freelancing forever, we want that same type of thought process.
We talked about that a couple shows ago on all the shitty things about running a business is there's no one to tell you what to do.
And what to do next.
Yeah, and you never know if you're about to step into the right thing or the wrong thing.
And that's why now, especially with the advent of the internet, everybody wants to tell you what to do next.
Right, everyone's business is how to start a business. Right? It's, hey, I'll be able to coach you on how to start a business. That's my business, is to tell you how to start a business.
Right.
Invest in yourself in my business on how to start a business.
Right. I mean,
And-
we've even done similar stuff.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like, okay, if you've built up the skill set to do that and you've built your own businesses, that's one thing. But and I've seen this with a lot of life coaches, not to call life coaches out, but life coaches are calling life coaches out about this.
Right.
You know, and we've seen this.
What's homegirl's name?
It was Rebecca something.
Rebecca something. You're awesome.
Rebecca Uncaged Lifers. I should look it up. I'll look it up. We have the internet right here at our fingertips.
It's true. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. The Uncaged Life. What is her name? Rebecca Tracy. Shout out to Rebecca Tracy. I remembered your first name. And your blog post of you calling out life coaches who are basically in this circle of life coaches coaching life coaches. And
Which is a great way to get started, and a great way to learn what you're
right,
doing.
right.
But just like I found in the hip hop community, and I see in a lot of creative communities, while there are a number of people who will gather and build community and invest in themselves in a way just by practicing their craft and sharing ideas, people will come along and say, I smell middleman money in there.
Yeah. And I think that is the first flag in my head when I hear someone say this is an investment in yourself is, are you the middleman?
That should have been the appetizer. I'm now wrong. If the person who is telling you to invest in yourself is not, in this instance, is not doing the thing you're doing or is not part of that process. Wow, that's great if they're just the middle person.
If they're just the middle person, if they're like, I'm going to tell you how to get there. I've never gotten there myself. Maybe I've read about it. Maybe I've helped other people get there.
Well, this is the trick, is it's often people who've had some modicum of being there. It's like we've talked about this before, like being one step ahead and then teaching the curriculum.
Right. Being expert enough.
I remember specifically in the rap scene, there were a number of promoters who would put on quote-unquote showcases where you either had to pay money or you had a minimum of tickets
Wow,
to be
that
sold.
really sounds like an investment in yourself kind of thing, right?
Oh, yeah. Showcase.
The pay-to-play stuff?
There's a flyer that has the name of famous people on it. The famous people are under the section that says invited guests, which means that they've sent them a tweet or an email and has nothing to do with these famous people showing up. But on the flyer, it's got famous people, and it said showcase, which sounds like a thing. And it says A&R or this, that. No. It's really just getting you to pay to get them to have money so they have a business.
Well, here's my question to you. If someone who's never, just as an artist, if someone who's doesn't know how to get on a bill or has never played a show, why would they not consider this? Why should they not consider this an investment in themselves? They're saying, I'm going to get in this showcase. I'm going to be put on in front of these people. All I have to do is pay a little money, but then I will, other people will know about me.
Because it's a show. People aren't going to know about you. Not in any. This is the thing. Well, yeah, it's so easy to finagle these things into sounding positive because people will take a lot of stuff that has positive stuff attached to it. Like, going and doing this showcase rap show, maybe everybody's going to love you. Right? Maybe everyone's going to think that you're amazing and they're all going to ask you to do stuff and they're all going to buy stuff from you. Every single person that you see, even if they came to see somebody else, you are just that amazing.
Okay.
Well, you know what? You could have gotten that on the subway.
Oh.
You didn't need these people to create this situation for that to accidentally happen.
Right. So it sounds like too.
Also, the thing of it is mainly.
Yeah.
The point is, in any statistically significant way, these things are not helping you.
Got it.
If you are introducing,
like even best case scenario.
Well, because I'm saying, like, say there's 50 people in the place. It's a small club. You do the showcase. Now 50 people know who you are. You could get 50 people to know who you are on a subway on your own terms.
Right.
Without you spending money.
Right.
So if those are kind of even, the possibility, that's the lottery again.
Right.
Now, there's a difference between that and they have done showcases for many artists where the artist doesn't pay any money. The artist is being put on by a producer or maybe a more well-known artist who then invites the people they know, and they, the other party, are taking a risk by putting you in front of them.
Right.
Another really huge facet of it, especially in the creative field, is if they are not taking a risk as well, discount.
Ooh.
It's nothing.
So investing in yourself means everyone is a part of this investment.
Because if I go to the showcase and I have to sell 10 tickets or whatever.
Right.
And I sell the 10 tickets to my friends. Does it matter if I'm good?
Right. It doesn't. They got their 10 tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got everything
that
they
invested.
Wanted. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Their investment works out no matter what.
And
in fact, one of the reasons why people put together these types of events is so they could create guarantees. A number of the people who put together these rap showcases were rappers themselves and had continued to be. And they weren't famous ones who've gotten deals and stuff. There are people who are tired of the club system and tired of the variables and worried about whether they're going to get paid or not.
Wow.
And they put together
That's
this system.
really some middleman shit.
Yeah, well, this is why this stuff bothers me so much, because it takes all of the interesting stuff out of being a creative artist, gives you this fake stratified path, and allows suckers, and by suckers I mean the people who don't have the heart to stick it out and be broke when they're trying to figure out what they're doing, suckers to take advantage of people who are genuinely care about the thing that they're doing, who care about the thing that they're doing so much that they will spend money with only or their time with only the vaguest promises of something on the other end because they care about said thing. Now, I see it in the rap world, and it's happened for many years, but I know it happens in plenty other worlds. Feel free to tell us if you've had a similar issue go down.
Wow, that's so heartbreaking. Well, and the thing that I was going to say earlier, too, is it sounds like, because you're saying, well, they could have gotten 50 people to pay attention to them on the subway if they're really that good, is it's going back to this idea of, like, what it's supposed to look like. And I feel like that, yeah, you could do that, but then are you just some random dude on the subway instead of this guy who's on a stage, right? And there's this expectation of what it's supposed to look like that someone is selling you and telling you this is how you do it.
Right, and that's the thing. We were just talking with Conscious about this. There is something to be said for the right channels and the right way and things like that. But the real truth of it is, if you are not actually doing the right way, if you are not hiring the big money publicists, if you are not going to the agent who has the connections, the venues, and the ability to throw a real showcase, then you're not.
Right.
You are just throwing it all out into the wind, and really and truly, the busking people, the people out there on the subway just trying it, doing whatever, they statistically and anecdotally, you can even tell, have a higher rate of things working out for them. It's because they have greater numbers.
They have greater numbers,
Oh,
and
their
it's on their own terms.
Well, and their curation isn't negative. This is one of the other things that I wanted to add about, especially in creative stuff, but I think this works in other worlds where they scam you. When I'm curating an event and I'm bringing in a bunch of people who like this type of thing, that's great for you, and you're going to have a greater chance of people caring about what you're doing. These curated events have several people being scammed. They're mostly bringing family.
Right.
Who's just there because their cousin said so.
Yeah.
Or their friend. Who's just there because their friend asked them to be there.
Right.
So what that does is make your odds lower than on the subway.
Yeah,
That thing
you're
about
not
I said, well,
showing your stuff to strangers.
that thing I said about how everyone could love you in the club, that's very unlikely because most of the people are just there to see their cousin and then leave.
Yeah, they're not sticking around for everybody.
They're not even paying attention to you if you're going on first.
Right.
They're outside.
Yeah. They're waiting for their cousin to go on.
Exactly.
Wow. It's a whole cycle.
There's a lot of stuff to look out for
Yeah.
in terms of, so you're not only looking for are they a middle person,
Right.
you're looking for what is their level of curation and what level of risk do they have.
Yeah, those are really good things. Well, and then also, what about one that I feel like is very common in every type of industry is the person who's selling classes or telling you to take a course or telling you to take this seminar and having that. I feel like I see that common everywhere. It's the showcase thing is one thing that you see a lot in the creative world, but I feel like the seminar, class, coaching thing is something that I see a lot in a lot of industries where people are trying to be their own boss.
Yeah.
And
But it's the same mindset.
it's the same mindset, right? Of, well, if you take this class, and so the question is, if you do want to take a class for something, what is different or like what should the smell test be?
Well, yo, for me, really, if you say invest in yourself, I'm going to be like,
That's how I feel too.
Because really, if
What
you
is-
were a great
yeah.
teacher, your goal and the thing you're excited about and the thing you're going to tell me about is you're going to learn.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what it's an investment in. Just tell me I'm going to learn and I'm going to know stuff and I'm going to be smart.
Right, exactly. And even even with me and my service, like I was thinking about it this morning and I was like, I've never used the phrase an investment in yourself. I guess technically people could think of it that way, but that's not my goal.
And that's funny
That's
because
not my intention.
That is definitely in there in what Brunch and Budget does. Is
Right.
that you could consider an investment in yourself.
Yeah, but I feel like that as the person who's selling you the service, that is not a feature of my service. That's not a benefit of my service. You could think of it that way if you want because you feel like that you're going to get something out of it. But my job is to tell you what you're actually going to get out of it and not leave you with some vague impression that you're doing a good thing for yourself. I feel like that's really why people use the phrase. It's, I don't have a clear idea of what you're going to get out of this, but you're going to pay me money for it and maybe you'll get something out of it. So let's call it an investment instead of you just giving me money.
Sounds like you recreated word for word how that phrase became popular. Right?
Yeah.
That was what it is.
Yeah, it's like just because you're giving someone money to do something to benefit yourself doesn't necessarily mean that it's an investment.
It's like the De Beers sings with the diamonds. You know, you're investing. It's diamonds forever and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
People watch people scam people and be like, I could do that in my industry.
Yep, totally. So if you are clear on the benefit for you and not having someone tell you it's an investment in yourself, then it actually is an investment in yourself, ironically. And that is really my red flag in general for when people say that phrase about their product or their service or something like that. It's, no, you tell me why it's an investment in myself. I've already decided that it's an investment in myself because I'm coming to you.
What is it explicitly going to add to my self-investment portfolio?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I do that with financial planning where I go to conferences and I take classes because I know it's an investment in myself and my practice, right? And I pay for courses to like improve my business and things like that because I know it's an investment in myself. I don't need anyone telling me that. I'm choosing to put the money here because of the potential gain in the future.
I've often had a problem with the phrase invest in myself because it's so fraught with peril, but maybe it just needs this distinction. As I'm hearing you say this stuff, it all sounds great. It sounds like investing yourself is something that you have to do and someone else can't sell you.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's the crux of all of
You
this.
can take classes all day long and it may or may not benefit you for a thing.
Right.
When investing in yourself is a thing is when you have ideas, you have a goal, and then you put stuff together that gets you toward your goal. That's the investment in self. It's not the actions themselves.
Right.
The class is not an investment necessarily.
Yeah.
It only becomes so once you put it in the context of what you're doing.
Exactly. Bing.
No one can tell you that. So that's why 100 times out of 100, when someone comes up to you and says it's an investment in yourself, they lying to you because they don't know you well enough to say that.
Yeah. Like when I hear that, I'm immediately on the defensive. I'm like, how do you know what's an investment in myself? You don't know me. You don't know what I'm working towards. You don't know why I want to do this. How do you know that?
How do you know that?
Yeah. That, or I feel like the other way, the reason why it works is because it's also kind of a guilt trip.
Yeah.
It's also this feeling of like, oh, I'm not putting enough money into myself and my life and my time, and I do things for everyone else. I need to start doing things for myself. And I think that's also where it gets blurry. And after this song, I want to talk about the difference between taking care of yourself and investing in yourself, because I feel like people tend to use that interchangeably. And I think there's a difference between the two, and they're both really important.
Yeah, so we're going to go to what people tell you to do next. We got a pair of MCs that go together collectively by Mac Jones, and they got a song called Invest in the Movement. So we're going to play that, and we'll get back to you. Brunch or Budget, Bonfire Radio.
Yeah, yo, I can't keep this rap shit off of my mind, it's pure addiction. And life west of Richmond, Blue Ridge jurisdiction. Mac Jones, he know what's up with the mixin'. If the starting five ain't winning, we will bench them. Barzillas on beats as car killers. Flexing the truth is easy, we all realer. Looking over the town like tall buildings. Respect legends for speaking to small children. Y'all lost the real grip, reality is on us. We win by example, we don't battle the opponents. The star stepping off and you ain't handling the moment. We paint the picture, we gon' vandalize this whole shit. Mac Jones, my nigga, that means we both win. That means money in your pockets that we both in. Drop hot music, most them hoes want both dicks, man. Reinvest in what we both Cop get. A ticket to a show and you might learn something, yeah. If nothing else, y'all invest in the movement. Support your decision and we not begging for it. If you wanna feel important, then invest in the movement. You can call us whack all you want, your bitch like it, beat her up, but invest in the movement. Real fans know the deal, that's why all of them excited. While it's all open to invest in the movement.
You keep the deal, give me the investor. Head of the class, you last semester. Bone Crush Beats giving me accolades. Give up your mic, go learn a trade. The Mac Jones name equals gravy train. Cut the scratch 2 ways, milk in the game. Talk a lot of shit, know that it's true. Despicable me, nickname Gru. You think local, we think global. Show after show, that's how we stay mobile. Come to your town, shut shit down. Blessing you with the Mac Jones sound. We the 7-2 Dolphins, take no L's. Out here getting grants like they handing out pills. Do what we do, stay on the go. Contracts up, gotta bounce like Cano.
Cop a ticket to a show and you might learn something, yeah. If nothing else, y'all invest in the movement. Support your decision and we not begging for it. If you wanna feel important, then invest in the movement. You can call us whack all you want, your bitch like it, beat her up, but invest in the movement. Real fans know the deal, that's why all of them excited. While it's all open to invest in the movement. Cop a ticket to a show and you might learn something, yeah. If nothing else, y'all invest in the movement. Support your decision and we not begging for it. If you wanna feel important, then invest in the movement. You can call us whack all you want, your bitch like it, beat her up, but invest in the movement. Real fans know the deal, that's why all of them excited. While it's all open to invest in the movement. Yeah. We are MacJones.com. The truth is not hate, bitches. Barzilla.
And we are back. Bunch of Budget, Bonfire Radio. That was Mac Jones out of Virginia. That's a duo, a collaboration between Poe Mac and Case Jones. Been doing their thing down in Virginia for a minute. They're entrepreneurs. They're MCs, creative types that throw events, that do stuff for folks. They have a movement to invest in, just like Bonfire Radio.
Yes, if you want to invest in something good.
Well, if you want to invest in something good, we have Patreon.
We do. Patreon.com/Bonfire Radio.
Exactly. And you can invest in our movement.
As of this recording, we are literally $1 away from our first goal.
And we are clear about the stuff that you'll get out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, it is an investment. Maybe not in yourself,
it's
but
funny.
in the community.
But, it's a funny thing. One of the problems I think we have with this is that invest colloquially doesn't necessarily mean money coming out. We've done a lot of invest your time, invest your energy.
Yeah, that's true.
The word has been spread around so much that something like invest in the movement, you're like, well, what does that really mean? Do you mean give money to the movement, give time, give
and
something to?
Yeah.
And then what happens after that?
And then do I get some kind of monetary gain from it?
Do you move me?
There's you move me right from here to here, just pick you up and move you over. And I feel like there's always that expectation. And it's
but in this case, when you talk about invest in the movement, the idea is you do a thing for the people, the movement, the community, and the movement will be better. Yay.
And therefore you'll be better. Yes, because you believe in this movement. You think the movement benefits you.
Right, and I think that's something that also gets preyed upon.
Yes, absolutely.
So
but
I know we're talking about other stuff. I just wanted to stick that in there.
Yeah, well, that's really important because I feel like that's a way that people convince you to do stuff too. But really, though, donate to Bonfire Radio because we are a movement.
We got stuff. We're doing stuff.
We're doing stuff right now.
We're not charging you money for this Brunch and Budget podcast.
We're not. But if you support it, please donate. Please leave reviews on everyone's iTunes radio show, on everyone's iTunes radio podcast pages.
Unless you get the Patreon Super Plus Brunch and Budget edition, which means that you can watch each episode with X-ray specs. You won't see us naked. You'll just see our skeletons. It's that intimate.
Wow.
Skeletons and circulatory systems.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Right, that'd be messed up. Then we get somebody who joins Patreon like, really, I want to see that. That sounds crazy. Brains and budget.
Brains and budget. Brains. So yes, bonfire, patreon.com/bonfire radio if you are interested in supporting the cause. And
That's the word, support rather than invest.
Yeah, and keeping shows like this on the air. If
right.
you're down.
If you think that, again, I was saying about the other meanings of investment. If you
Yeah.
think that this is a benefit to the community, if you think this is a benefit to you, if you think this is a potential benefit to young ones you may have or people you know.
Right. Support the cause. Be a sponsor for it.
But also remember, when people are asking you to directly give money for stuff that doesn't have any direct benefit, that may just be like, oh, we're creating a good thing and you should like that in the world. Remember, that's a different type of investment.
Right. If this doesn't benefit you at all, if you don't find value from this, yeah, that's how people tend to choose whether or not they're going to donate or invest in something in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's talk about the difference between investing in yourself and taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
And the reason why I want to clear
Again, giving money to Bonfire in the Patreon, that may be a form of self-care because you may just need to listen to some certain types of stuff.
Right.
You may need your TK.
Yeah.
And be like, man,
Don't we all?
I just need to affirm my stuff with you this week.
And motivate on Mondays.
And we have to understand that that's a different thing from I'm listening to TK and then I'm going to get a raise.
Right.
You listen to us to get the raise.
Yeah. We cover it all on Bonfire Radio, y'all. I don't know when this turned into a accidental commercial for Bonfire, but we love it.
Well, the reasoning is I was first saying that to make the association and then to break down how it is. There's a lot of negativity towards the whole thing, but with Bonfire, we put together. This radio station exists, and these people, we work together because we've been looking out for folks like that ever since we started rocking.
Yeah.
We were the ones who would tap each other on the shoulder and say, oh, don't do a show with that guy.
And this is the next manifestation of that. So here we go. Taking care of yourself versus investing in yourself. I want to talk about this because when you Google invest in yourself, there are so many articles that are like, health,
Even when you
sleep
bang.
more, self-care, go to your doctor, all of that kind of stuff. Take my program. Well, maybe that's the lead into it, but a lot of it is like, old stumbling blocks, give yourself a break, daydream.
What's gold stumbling
Old,
blocks?
oh yeah, get over an old stumbling block.
Oh, because gold
Stumbling blocks. Yo, that sounds like an investment.
That's amazing. I think that I want that to be my next band. Who wants to join me? We want to make a metal ska band, Golden
I
Stumbling
know,
Blocks.
right? I know. So all of this stuff is important to do,
Right.
but it's not necessarily you investing in yourself.
Well, it's not commerce.
Yeah.
It's stuff that has phrases that are popular and that deal with something useful, even if they're not specifically useful.
Yeah, and I think this is where it gets blurry a little bit. And I think, staying healthy and, feeling happy and going and getting a massage or getting your nails done, it's not really an investment in yourself so much as it's you deciding, hey, I need to take care of myself right now. Or I need to take care of myself consistently by buying healthy food and exercising regularly and sleeping regular hours and all of that kind of stuff.
Well, it's just tough because there's so many things that are good things for you. And they're
Yes.
good things for you as a person, but they're not a direct thing to get you a thing. But they will make you feel like you have the thing if you are playing the role. Like, hey, say you want to take the fitness thing, right? You want to be in better shape, great person, right? Be a great in shape person. That's good for you as a human.
Yeah.
For you as your business, say you're an actor and you want to do action movies. You want to be that
Oh, yeah.
comic
That's
book
different.
star,
Yeah.
that Hugh Jackman, great. Guess what? It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you at all to have the rippling abs right now. Because guess what? when you get picked up and they're like, we want you to be the new Hugh Jackman or whatever and have the rippling abs and
They're
all.
going to make sure you have them.
Yeah.
You're going to get a trainer, and you're going to get on a meal plan and all of that kind of stuff.
And you know what that will be? That will be an investment in yourself.
Well, that will be a studio investing in you.
Box, yeah, that will be. Excuse me. That will, yeah, it will be an investment in you, but it'll be them investing in you.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that we talk a lot about values on this show and spending money on what you really value. And I think that a lot of people, myself included, have tried to use the word investing in myself as a way to justify buying something that I feel like I shouldn't really buy.
Oh heck yeah.
All the time you're like, oh, I should do this, and it's an investment in myself. Like when you buy a piece of clothing, or when you buy the extra fancy groceries, you're like, oh, I'm doing this for me. It's investing in my health.
Man, this Granny Smith apple is gonna get me that raise. That's not even the fancy apple, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, the pink lady apples. Actually.
Is that a real thing?
We have them at the house right now.
The pink.
That's what I
What are
just
they doing
ate.
at the house?
Pink ladies?
I'm scared.
Pink lady apples, yeah, they're good. They're quite an investment. Really, that just means they're expensive, right? I feel like that's the other thing too that gets conflated is like, it's not an investment just because it's expensive.
Well, yeah. Again, that's because of associations.
Right.
Because of that phrase is often used as an excuse. And it's funny how these things, they just circle each other and don't ever leave. It's often used as an excuse for something that's expensive, so it's been tied to the idea of it being expensive.
Right.
But also tied to the idea of it being expensive and worth it.
Yeah, exactly. And we like to use the word to make ourselves feel justified in buying this thing that we're going to buy anyway, but we feel kind of guilty about buying.
Yep.
And this is why it's so important to have clarity on what you actually value, because then you don't need to do that.
Ooh.
If you, whoa, what?
Urgent, important,
I
but
was just
urgent, important.
Oh, you should.
Yeah.
I think that's the beginning of a good new song. We talk about the urgent, important matrix all the time on this show, and you know the best piece of financial advice that I could ever give you, because it's the best piece of advice that I ever got, is where you spend your money is a representation of what you value, and you don't need to call anything an investment just so you feel okay buying it. You can just feel okay buying it because it's something that you value.
Say that again.
I don't know what I said. No, I'm just kidding. You don't need to call something an investment just because you want to buy it. It's okay for you to buy it if it's something that you value. And I think that's one of the most critical things about this phrase, and why people get taken advantage of by it. It's why you take advantage of yourself in a weird way by it. It's because it's okay to spend money on things that you don't think you're going to get money back from, or that you don't think is necessarily going to benefit you monetarily. That's part of making money, is being able to spend money on the things that you care about.
We were talking at the break about how this is part of the whole Instagram super hustle culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's part of it, is we will feel guilty about spending money or even spending time on stuff that is not going to get us stuff.
Yeah.
And so we felt the need to make convoluted excuses about what is an investment and what isn't, so that we can be okay with the thing that we're doing.
Right. And it's this justification and excuse thing I feel like has gotten us in this place where people can tell you this is an investment in yourself and have it actually work.
Yeah.
You know, when you get to the point where you're like, oh, well, I want to buy this thing, or I want to have this thing. So if I call it an investment, then that's going to make it okay. And I think part of it is just being real with ourselves and saying, I just want this. I just want a massage. I don't need it to be an investment in me or myself or some future endeavor or whatever. I just want to get a massage. I just want to get a pedicure. I just want to eat this food. I just want to have this thing. And be okay with it, because you know that it's something that you care about. And you know that the thing you're giving up to have it is something that you don't care about that much. And that's where the urgent important matrix really comes in, is figuring out what you can give up that you're perfectly okay with giving up, so that you can have the thing that you actually want and take away the guilt of buying random stuff. So in terms of getting back to the whole thing of taking care of yourself versus investing in yourself, I think it's very important to be honest with yourself about whether it's you just doing self-care and personal care and being healthy and taking care of yourself in that way, or if it is actually you taking the time to invest in something that you feel like is actually going to grow.
Also, if you feel like you want to invest in yourself, then you need to know that you also need to do self-care. And that they're
Yes.
two different things.
But
And
both
that you-
important.
And that you shouldn't try to put them together and make them happen at the same time.
Yes, that is so, so important.
It may seem cheaper, it may seem easier, hey, it may even seem natural. But one thing I've found with successful entrepreneurs, especially with artists, is that your self-care and your self-investments are different things.
And you need to treat them as such.
Go do other stuff when you're recharging from the thing that you
Mm-hmm.
do. I know it's great to be a part of your community all the time and going and doing the things and you people in your community being around them and all that stuff. Go elsewhere for a couple of days.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think what you said about mixing up the two, it's just psychologically so important for you to keep them separate. Because investing in yourself is work. It's not a time to recharge. It's not a time where you can, take a break from all of it and then be able to come back and have more energy. Investing in yourself is investing not just money but time and energy into something that is gonna be hard.
It's going to be hard.
So self-care needs to be you taking the time to say, I'm gonna step away from this for a minute so that the next day I can focus on the investments that I've made in myself and for myself.
That makes sense.
Keep it separate, keep it real with yourself. That's pretty much it.
I mean, keep it real with yourself, right?
Yeah, keep it real with yourself. Be real with yourself about why you're actually spending this money.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of our financial problems, especially when we have enough money to spend some of it, is when we're not honest about why we spend it.
Mm-hmm.
And with ourselves, because, whatever, lie to everybody.
Yeah.
Just don't lie to you.
Yeah.
Mama Elect was big on that. It's like, yeah, go, lie to me before you lie to you.
Right. So just know why you're doing the thing you're doing. Be honest with yourself about it. And then by being able to keep the two separate, taking care of yourself and investing in yourself, you'll be able to do both successfully. And they go hand in hand. You need to have both. But you can't have both happening at the same time.
Yeah, well, and also an investment in yourself, because we're probably wrapping up. So I guess whatever last little things. An investment in yourself is something that you know.
Right.
There are a lot of times, well, because,
Yeah.
we the whole I don't know what I don't know about cars until I learned the first thing about cars. Now I know what I don't know and all that. There are a lot of times when we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
I was just talking with Contras about the first time I did a show was a rap battle at a spot because I didn't even occur to me that I could cold call a venue and be like, hey, I want to throw a night here. Will you let me, if I had
What
no
are your
track
rules
record,
for that? Yeah.
that I could just do that.
Right.
So I would be very easily played at that time.
Yeah.
And if you don't know stuff and they're like, hey, it's this, that, and the other thing, go find out about it.
Yeah.
Don't just go by what heads say.
See what the alternatives are. See what other people are doing. There's something to invest in. Woo! All right. I think we are out of time. So everybody take care of yourself and invest in yourself. Not at the same time.
Well, before we go, is there any, when is the time not to invest in yourself?
Part of the first thing that comes to mind when you said that is when you just haven't been taking care of yourself. When you don't have the capacity mentally, physically, or emotionally, or all three, to actually put in the work that it's going to take, that you know it's going to take to invest in this thing, then don't do it yet.
Well, like we said about a lot of things that are options, investing in yourself, it sounds like, is not a ticket out of anywhere.
No. It's a lot of work.
It's not a thing where if you sacrifice your rent or you sacrifice your bills for the month or your food for the month so that you can do this investment in yourself, it is not going to springboard you out.
It's not.
Make sure you have those things under control.
Make sure, actually, let me modify
Don't put
what I just
yourself
said.
at risk
Yeah.
like that.
Take care of yourself first. You have to do that before you can start investing in
There we go.
yourself. Just like you have to have an emergency fund first before you put money into the stock market. Take care of yourself first, and then you can invest in yourself. And the investment will be less risky, and you will find more reward from it.
All right, now I think we can go.
Thank you, Dialect.
Yeah, we just need to get that out there. Thank you all for listening this week. This was a very important episode, I figure. And we'll talk to y'all next week. We're going to leave you out with, where's this cat from? This is Beatmaker Bill. He's from Grand Island, Nebraska, and got a song called Invest in You. So we can do that. We're going to see you in a week. Bunch of budget. Bonfire Radio. Peace.
Yo, man, someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it. Yeah, someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it. Yo, man, everyone's got something they gotta pull off today. Yeah, someone's got some sort of issue. Something's always in the way. You gotta take shit, balance mixing, reason with all those hypocrites. It clutches grip to the gist, man. You feed your kids, and that's about it. I park it in a hailstorm, but the metal gets bent, but the skin gets torn. You wanna invest in your life? Yeah, you gotta figure out your form. It's from that day you were born. It's from that very first minute. You gotta figure out your path. What do you gotta give? What do you wanna give? Now give it. It's been so great, man. Just know we're good to go. Since the rain flows down, they know we're good to go and G out for a show. Yeah, the underground hip hop suffers, and then the musicians mourn. Yeah, I feel like it's getting brighter now. It's G-I-N-E-I-D, pit stop what I got, and cream of the crop. It's lyric stuff now in a shoebox. Play it cool as farmer now. We're creating jobs out in the boondocks. I'm proud to be a supporter of the rural farmhouse studio mixing. I understand what I got, and I understand what I'm missing. So if I made $1 million, I'd tell you just what I do. I'd invest it all right back into you. Buy the music, people. I made the headline, I'm doing just fine. And someone's gotta put down before everyone gets to get down. So if I made $1 million, I'd tell you just what I do. I'd invest it all right back into you. Buy the music, people. I made the headline, I'm doing just fine. Yeah, someone's gotta put down before everyone gets to get down. If I made $1 million, I'd tell you just what I do. I'd invest it all right back into you. Buy the music, people. Made the headline, I'm doing just fine. Buy the music, people. Buy the music, what would I do? I'd invest it all right back into you. Buy the music, people. This place has always been so great. No one's ever bright enough to see all the wonderful people from Grand Island who surround me. All these people brave enough to be free, aiming to sitting steadily. Yet with the crack of the bat, you see where I'm at, and you look at me now when it seems so scary. And quite contrary, man, just look where all the money goes. Yeah, people might be able to get the foot through the door if they didn't have support all those fucking foes. Yeah, but we do what we do, and then we stand up strong, sing a song. I won't break my neck, I won't lose a bet, but you can find me out here where the cattle swarm. It's to the poem of nature. Reality's gonna hate ya when you figure out how to live your life without all those things that break ya. Yeah, and I'm all like, trick me once. It's always shame on me. You ain't never gonna trick me twice. Why? I'm so nice. And go, boy, go what you got to show. Do what you do, we'll be back tomorrow. Learn your lesson and you count your blessings and you add up your eyes, we'll be back tomorrow. It's like every single day, man, we put in so much work. It's easy to act like a jerk. Some days I might do as I say, not do as I. But who am I? I'm the toughest shit that you ever met yet. Man, my dog will destroy your pet. Baby bunny's got no chances with the biggest regrets. And head to head, I understand nature, and I'm a real life person. I'm not a criminal nor a faker, so I manipulate shakers, I program beats, I move acoustics through the air with the djembe beats mystique. Yeah, but then the exits the body through the skin, out with the mind flow. Now I sit right here, I play music, that's where I go. So if I made $1 million, I'd tell you just what I do. I'd invest it all right back into you. Buy the music, people. All made the headline, I'm doing just fine. And someone's gotta put down before everyone gets to get down. So if I made $1 million, I'll tell you just what I do. I'd invest it all right back into you. Buy the music, people. All made the headline, I'm doing just fine. And someone gotta put down before everyone gets to get down. Yeah, tell you just what I do. I'd invest it all right back into you. And buy the music, people. All made the headline, I'm doing just fine. And someone gotta put down before everyone gets to get down. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna invest it all right back into you. Buy the music, people. Oh no, that's how I do it. I'm all like, oh no. Man, where'd they go? Since people used to break out the wallets and then they shake out. Like a bit of money for art to start the career of a musician or an artist who isn't anywhere near their mirror. I'm all like, let me make myself clear. You mean where my people at? The artist from the heart. Yo, and then the artist for a career. You know, people who braver than me and they got more skills to share. I think I'm gonna name a few of y'all right here. Then we can clear the air. Yo, Jamie Eggleston, you should look him up. I used to know him back in Kearney, and I would stare at his paintings for hours. Yeah, and Bradley Schmidt lives in GI, so close, he's right here. And Katie Muse's work lives in my basement, and then the pathway is clear. And clothes rock, not just for beats, autistic pieces. And I've removed his art off the ground, and I've removed all the creases and pieces and pieces and pieces and pieces of blood. End of achievement. And if all blood drips red, it don't mean shit to nobody. Yo, I ain't special because I'm complete. I'm special because I try to get to know me from the inside out. And can I achieve something great? Yo, can I get a fuck yeah? I'm coming live from the beef state. So if I made $1 million, I'll tell you just what I do. I'd invest it all right back into you. Find the music people, art made the headline. I'm doing just fine. And someone gotta put down before everyone gets to get down. So if I made $1 million, I'll tell you just what I do. I'd invest it all right back into you.